Hello everyone, this is Delta 6 of the Run8 community and owner of the New Lunar Public Railroad server and site administrator over at Run8Western.com. And this is just a little personal video. I'm also did Trex 83 on YouTube for those of you guys who follow that, and I'll address a little bit of that, what's going on with that channel as well, because I have a series that I abandoned a long time ago, or meant to come back to a Let's Play series. I haven't done a video in over a year and a half. The last episode was episode 11. I said I'd have episode 12 out soon. Yeah, life happened, just a lot of stuff happened. And I'll explain why right now, because it goes with the rant. I purchased Run8 January 4th, 2015. I didn't join up into the group of damned sometime until February or March. I started my servers. The NLR was nothing but a test server and started out eventually as actually me being able to host on... when was that? I started that on April 23rd, 2015. The NLR had its own Facebook group by like June 2015, and we'd really been picking up speed for the next few. We were not noticed by the community at all. No one cared, and they still don't care really at all. I'm not trying to make this out to be a rant that I need attention. That's not what I'm trying to say with this, but for Run8, when the server started to get more serious, I purchased another $40 copy of version 1 in order to run one on the desktop for hosting and one so I could play on my laptop on my own servers. I continued to amass DLC. We started to make a little bit more presence until we hit August 2015. That's where we ran into a very large problem, and it's kind of one of the root problems. The source of kind of why the community is so split and why there are so few members spread out among all the servers to the point where pretty much every single server is empty. That is a small community server. And that was the creation of a site called The Depot. Now, I'm not trying to bash the site itself. The site's got some helpful stuff. They contain the maps made by Nolatron. They contain a converter that converts V1 consist files to V2 for the most part. You know, they have some of the Run8 tools like train tagger, stuff like that. They've got good stuff for that. But that's about it. When you got into the community side of it being a server, they require membership and a login and all stuff, which no other server in the community requires, I'd like to add, which is why this is a massive problem. They sucked at people a lot, and I dealt with these staff members before we had an issue back on a previous server known as the Diverging Approach multiplayer server, hosted so generously by Ralph. That was the original was a 24/7 server, and that had all the routes loaded on it. When the depot came around, things changed. I'd spoken with the staff a few times. I was very weary of trusting them again. But I trudged on until it got to a policy. I was showing off a new texture, the winter texture pack, which I'd never tried. Went on and was given a warning about advertising. Apparently, at the depot, you can only talk about the depot, and basically, if you're not talking about your sentence doesn't involve the words Run8 and depot in it, it's pretty much not allowed. They don't really say that, but they made enemies with me, basically. They kept trying to, I tried to keep so basically I decided to keep my head down, and basically they stole up the community. They gathered, hundreds of members, claimed they had all these great servers, and Newsflash, they did. At the start, they had 6. They don't anymore. They don't support version 1 at all. So if you're a version 1 user, you can come run on mine when my V1 servers are running, because I switch between V1 and V2 sometimes, because I still support the people that own V1. The Depot doesn't. They have 1 public server. Eventually, I discovered how to reskin in February 2016, and by this point I was now starting to make the NLR somewhat known. We had gotten a few members, but outside of friends, there's not a lot of people that have ever played on my server more than once, or maybe twice. Except for one, known as Feisty Feline, who used to run on Highball, that switched over to mine. Hey Feisty, if you're watching this, he used to run every day. I haven't seen him in a while. Then, a few months after the Depot came out, a new server showed up called Highball Run8, which the Depot broke their own rule and advertised. Eventually, as you all know, by February 2016, I started to figure out, I finally cracked the code with some help from friends, but mostly they were there for moral support, but on my end I cracked the code for how to reskin. And I gave you guys the tutorial for that. And I figured out how to do, well, not for a long time on that, but I figured out how to make custom sounds, and I gave you guys a tutorial for that, and you loved it. The Depot didn't love it. The way I explained it, they believed that the words, the sound cues were copyrighted data. It's simply just words without a space. I mean, you open it up in Notepad and the data's right there. And they were, they're like, we'd rather, keep it all pure, run 8, whatever. I was like, alright, I'll take the video down. Because they didn't appreciate custom stuff. They didn't appreciate that I went through all the work to do this. They said they did. And that I graciously, supported the EULA, because I really did. But, to their credit, they did. And the NLR started to gain traction when we created the Run8 community server group. I and Daniel Cristia, known as CSX2057 on YouTube, a guy from Florida Southern, and we did that in order to reunite the community. We had all the servers that listed there. Eventually it split off into 2 other groups due to some internal issues, and we have that group, the official Run8 community server group, and Run8 Western, the official online community for Run8 Train Simulator, or unofficial, I'm sorry. And then Run8Western.com I started in August. And so I'm just, I started the NLR and it was going well. I eventually, the most that people I've ever had on was like maybe 20, 21, and that was on one night when a lot of people and friends and stuff had all gathered from other servers and played. Fast forward to September 2016, a year after the Depot was created. Things got rough. I had to keep my head down every single time I tried to help someone with something that was custom, or if they posted something that was a custom work. It was supported a little bit. It was supported in the community server groups. The Depot would take stuff like that down, and people got banned for it, because creativity is not respected over there. Nolatron, who claims to know how reskins work, unfortunately he does not, as I'm the one who discovered it, so I actually know how it works, because he's never tried it before. So Nolatron, if for any reason you're watching this, reskins don't crash servers. It's client-side data. It doesn't transfer over the network. I've tested my servers with this tons of times. It doesn't crash anything. A simple reskin doesn't do that. Custom sounds don't do that. What happens is it screws up on the client's end if they screw up something in their files. That's why you make backups. I always say make backups of these things in my tutorials. I always have backups. The Depot claims to say that basically the things I taught that I know all about, are wrong. But they know it, so that's all completely false. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So fast forward to about September 20th. Some guy on Dams was, he had a lot of issues with the Run8 devs and was just ticked off, and he's now going to TSW, and so best of luck, teammate, because I know you know who you are. So I made a couple of videos during my college semester, explaining how I thought that V1 content was going to work in V2 to him, to help him understand it. And for the most part, when V2 came out, I was actually, for the most part, kind of right about what I said. So I posted this and inquired on the Depot if anyone would like to see the videos all together. I announced in the beginning of the video, said, hey, this guy's Delta 6 of the New Public Road, or of the Run8 community. I mentioned my server's name. The Depot essentially gives you the death penalty if you announce your server's name. They joke and say, nah, we want to just keep it, a regular community, but we don't really promote advertising, but you'll get a warning after a few things in the Depot. Plus, that wasn't so. They wanted me gone for a long time. I was a thorn in their side because I was bringing creativity in, and they didn't like that. That's just how it is. No matter how they tell it, that's how it is. After I post the video, even Jason Webb, creator of the A-Line, thanked me for posting the videos. Like, I'm sure people appreciate all the hard work you put into figuring this out. He said it was I explained it very well. So big thanks to Jason for that. But there's just a problem. 4 days later, I go to log into the Depot in order to do something. This account has been banned in a large red rectangle hovers above the login box. I'm confused and then rather justifiably pissed off. All I ever did for the Depot was tried to help them. Always there to try and help them, try to help users understand things, how things work, try to give people technical support. And for what? To be banned? Because they don't like creativity? I don't think so. That's why the Depot is no longer on the community server group. Of the 3 groups I mentioned earlier, after speaking with the staff of my fellow staff of those groups, because I'm only the leader of the Run8 Western one. The other 2 I didn't physically create. They're owned by one's owned by Daniel, and the other one's owned by someone else. That was a former admin at Highball, but he's no longer. He retired from that. We all came to an agreement that if this was the kind of behavior that the Depot is going to do, we should not basically promote their server. And when I announced what had happened to me, there had been things happening to other people coming through the woodwork all the time, of people who were accused of being forced to show their transaction ID for the Mohawk sub for proof that they bought it, which the Depot shouldn't be policing it like that, because it's just completely wrong. And many things of people being banned wrongly, or simply just for trying to be a human being. After we placed the Depot on the blacklist, and it's the only server on this blacklist, I'd like to point out, and it will continue to stay so until such a point where I believe the Depot is worthy of being trusted again, and they have not reached that yet. Again, the one thing I really want to say, I want to get this out of the way, the Depot's the members that are on the Depot are not the problem, and they are not bad people. The people that are in the Depot that are members, they're great people. They're diverse. Some of them know a lot about trains. Some of them have worked on trains. There's a lot of great people. The staff I have problems with, and many others have problems with the staff. And the owner of Dams had problems with them when they were staff at Dams. So what does that tell you? It's a trend. They didn't like that I was being creative. Unfortunately, that didn't stop me. I continued to be creative, helped the community, gave them the reskin tutorial finally, figured out how to do it in V2 after they decided to lock up all the files to prevent piracy, because people continued to pirate V1 a crazy amount. So what am I trying to get at with all this? Well, we have a bunch of servers in the community server group, but some split off and we created more. Basically, the depot is the reason why no one is on my server. I'd like to show you something. If you can see it, the menu that I have up right now, you might not see it. It says Tracer, NLR3 host, that's the name of the host computer, and Delta 6 NLR3, which is me. Those are the only two players on, and about 98% of the time, those are the only two people that will be on, is me and the host. And that's how it goes. No, people very rarely join. Someone found us the American Railroad Simulations page the other day because they advertised their group after I requested it about a year ago, which I was psyched for. So shout out to the ARS group. Unfortunately, the depot, both Highball and... I don't want to blame Highball so much, although, well, I kind of will. Because the Highball and Depot, neither of them allowed the advertisement or mention of other servers. I accidentally hinted at it in a funny image that actually would have brought smiles to people's faces, and it was not indicated in any way that it was this. I said, this is an image of something that's happening on our server. It was a funny tag on my unit that was in response to someone else's picture of a unit with a funny tag. But I digress. That's not important right now. But the Depot and Highball are the reason that we don't have a lot of people in the community server group that play. Now, the people in the Run8 Brazil group are running pretty much every day and having a ball with multiple people. Here in the US, all the people are on the Depot, thinking it's the best place in the world. I'm not here to knock anyone's thing down a notch, but the Depot's not the best place in the world. As a site, yeah. As a community and a server, most certainly not. Mine's a simple free 24/7 server. Well, about as close to 24/7 nowadays due to some hosting issues with my family. If I'm not home when the computer's on, it gets shut off by my stepfather, so I have to have it automatically sleep at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and turn back on automatically at 10 p.m. at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. And that's worked out so far, and I have a TeamSpeak dedicated to it. I poured in $100 just to get version 2 for this. One for my laptop, and that was not working due to graphics drivers, which I fixed. And then I put it on the desktop. I poured in another $50 to do that. I didn't do all that stuff for nothing. I did that to help the community, to have people who wanted to run for fun. Nobody cared. The one new person we have, yeah, they cared. A few people cared. A few people joined the session. The community-wide session. I created a session for December 28th on Selkirk Mohawk version 2 for all the people in the community, the entire community. I'm talking up to like maybe hundreds of people, trying to reach everyone in the community server groups in every community. The end result, about 10 to 12 people, including staff. It lasted about 5.5 hours. It was alright, but that's not what I expected. The Depot had a session 3 days later, and they had like 25 people on. Why is it that a session that I created for the whole community gets no attention at all, but the Depot's gets 30? Because the Depot doesn't want that news getting in. They don't like any kind of advertisement. I even tried to advertise the developer of Selkirk and Mohawk. He planned a silly session. I made a post about that, and just so happened to share it from my community server group where I made the post as well. They removed that and basically considered that a threat. So what their admin decided to do was delete my post, but not before copying every piece of text word for word and pasting it as his own status, because apparently the origin of my post is what mattered to them. They didn't care about the context. They'll steal the info from your post if they want to. But the NLR, I've worked my ass off to make this server work for people. And I'm at the point where I'm about ready to pull the plug. And I've been very calm and very collected and always helpful people. But enough is enough. I've had it. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm not going to continue wasting my days running a server that no one will ever join because nobody cares. Nobody cares that I worked my ass off to do all this stuff. Nobody cares that I made tutorials to help people out. Some people do, they've said thank you, and some people are very thankful. But I don't really feel like anyone's ever really genuinely cared. Maybe on the surface, but I'm dedicated to Run8. I'm one of their biggest fans, I would like to say, because I have defended against a lot of the backlash that they've received and tried to do as much as I can while still having all the facts straight. And it's reached the point where I'm just so tired. The community has forgotten about me. They think I'm there to relay in answers, and a lot of people are still asking me, talking with me and stuff, but something doesn't feel right anymore. And I feel that I don't think the community would care at all if tomorrow I shut down the New Lunar Public Railroad website and my servers and my TeamSpeak and just called it a day. They wouldn't. Maybe they would. They probably would, actually. Some would. There were people that were dedicated to my server, and I thank them for running on it. You don't have to. I don't force anyone to run on my server. They want to run on it, they can. They don't want to, they don't have to. It's just an option. There's plenty of other servers out there. One of my co-hosts that was hosting another V2 server for the NLR3 has gone off and made his own server now. I mean, there's other options. There's Florida Southern, there's Highball, there's the Run8, Brazil group, there was Atlantic and Pacific Railroad, but they're moving to Train Sim World, so... And I gotta look at a few others. But there's a few others on there. I don't remember the names right off the top of my head, but they're on there. Mine's just a single option. And I'm not asking to be top dog or anything. Things don't feel right. And I feel like I'm just wasting my time. I just want to help people, but something feels just wrong. And people probably would care, but I'm probably going to post this to the community server group, but to those from the community that did run on the NLR or don't, but are watching this video, would you really care? I mean, whatever answer you have is up to you. I'm not going to force any answers. I just want to know, because I feel like I might just kind of give up on Run8 soon. I'm just not in the greatest of moods right now. I'm just tired. Came home from work about an hour and a half ago, but this was bothering me for a while. And the depot is to blame. I'm going to outright say that. The depot is the primary to blame for the lack of members in the community server. And I'm not trying to assassinate them or anything, but the fact that they don't allow advertising and they create this closed-off walled garden that keeps their community from getting out and just makes it so people get sucked in, it's disgusting that that's the way they operate, in my opinion. No other community, no other group runs like that. Not one. No one else requires you to sign up in order to get the password. Mine just simply says, shoot me an email and I'll give you the password to my server. That's what it says on my site. That's all you gotta do. That's all you have to do. And something happened to the server. Oh, that's great. Don't tell me it crashed. Oh no, there we go. It was in a momentary pause. Didn't crash. The Depot is still a great site. I recommend you go there for maps and other things. I really do. But as always, something goes wrong in one of my videos. Oh, the black screen of death. Hold on. Had to cut power to the desktop and restart it, so you're just going to be stuck looking here. Apparently my computer's corrupt. The host. Yeah, I'm well aware Windows didn't start safely. Start Windows normally.
Connection lost.
The Depot servers, you know, I recommend their site for tools and maps and such. Other than that, I don't recommend you to go there. You're better off with a lot of other servers. And really, you should check out the other ones, because the Depot doesn't want you getting out once you get in. It's almost like a cult, really. The people in the group are fine, and I had 2 of the community liaisons join my session, which is great. I happened, you know, they were fine. The liaison's position is still hard for me to understand, but they came on, they were nice, and I wished them the best of luck with their session on the 31st. They're not staff, so I still see them as members. I don't really see them as liaisons. And, you know, if I know they're going to see things differently here. And they're welcome to their opinions, but guys, you have to admit the Depot's got something wrong. They hate me. They hate me because I was creative, and I don't really care what anyone says. That's my truth, and I'm sticking to it, because the video I made was nothing but help, and they hated the fact that I was trying to help out the community, that I might possibly know more about how Run8 works than they did. Mainly because I actually dug through the code. I actually dug through things to figure out all this stuff. So I don't really know what to do with the NLR. I feel like just calling it quits and just leaving the sim community. I don't really know what to do. I feel like that. I'll sleep on it. I don't really want to do that. It's too drastic, but this has just been a long rant, and I'm sorry for it. But I needed to get this off my chest, because this is ticking me off. I poured my heart and soul into Run8, and sometimes I got something great out of it. The rest of the times, I got a knife through my back. But the Depot, you know, I wasn't betrayed by the Depot. You see, you have to trust someone to be betrayed. I never did. I never trusted them, and I was glad to not do that, because I saw through the veils. the server, if you want to play on their server, go right ahead. I'm not telling people that, but I will tell you this, we will not be giving out the connection info in this group, because it's currently on our blacklist. So you're unfortunately going to have to ask around. I'm sorry, that's just our policy on the Run8 community server group. And was blacklisted on Run8 Western as well, so... Again, that wasn't my decision. It was a unanimous decision among all the staff. So, just my struggles. I suppose it's. I don't know. The world can just be a frustrating place, and Run8's kind of worn me out, and. Maybe I'll take a break. I've been doing that for a while, and I've been trying to come back to it. But with version 2, no one cares that the NLR is running. I don't even think people have liked the posts I've made saying the NLR is back up and running. Doesn't really matter. No one's going to join it. I haven't checked the logs in the last couple of days, but I guarantee the only people I'll see in there is me. I know a lot of people don't own Selkirk Mohawk, but I live on the East Coast, so I want to run on the East Coast. West Coast running just doesn't do it for me. And a lot of people that own the East Coast route still don't want to run on it because they don't like the fact that you actually have to do work. You actually have to do a lot of switching. You actually have to know where you're going. On the West Coast, you just kind of drive through the desert in a mostly straight line. Relatively straight. So that's my whole rant. This is Delta 6 from the New Lunar Republic Railroad, and don't you forget it. And Run8Western.com, and the Run8 community itself, and from Valhalla Tower. That's still up and running, but it's mostly just me doing it. There's people on the side in Valhalla that have done work, as you've seen by screenshots, but the snow you're looking at, I know, that's no texture I didn't make, but converting it and getting it in V2 I did. You know, Valhalla is mostly just a figurehead for me, but I don't know. I just wanted to help you guys out, and I feel like maybe I wasted my time. I don't know. You guys tell me if I wasted my time. Should I throw in the towel or whatever? I'm not going to let that be up to the community. That's going to be up to me, but
Connected.
I think the community's already forgotten about me, so I'd say the NLR was a success, but it didn't last long. So I hope you all have a happy new year, and stay tuned for more rants. And for those who are wondering why I haven't done Hot Wheels Velocity X, I have some good reasons. Mainly because the computer that runs Velocity X flawlessly is the desktop that's been hosting the Run8 servers. So unless I shut down the servers and for a while, you know, I can't play the game and run fraps and do V2 at the same time, or even V1. It would just cause too much performance lag. So I'm going to bring my V2 server back up and play on it alone for a while, and Happy New Year to everyone, and hopefully things will get better. I can only hope. This is so over and out.